how are you distinct in your niche? What's your superpower as a brand? If you're not clearly communicating that, you can bet that your website visitors or people encountering your brand aren't going to have it clear either. Not everybody's brand is, like some kind of a unicorn in their space where what you're offering is very distinct and how you're doing something is very unique. More often than not, you're offering the same kind of service as, the next guy. Say you're a roofer, or maybe you're a copywriter, perhaps a web designer, or even a lawyer, right? Regardless your niche, most of us are working in the same kind of competitive space as other people. So you have visitors, shopping around, looking at different websites. If you're delivering a service that is essentially the same as the next guy down the street, how are you setting yourself apart? All right, and especially if you're not trying to do it on price, right? You never, of course, want to be trying to be cheaper or $1 cheaper than the next guy because all he has to do is drop it, and then, you're not distinct anymore. And of course, if you're a small business, you need the income, right? So how can you differentiate yourself in your niche? Well, one of the most valuable things that you can be doing is to identify 3 key ideas, and what I call them are differentiators, right? What you want people to be doing when they're visiting your website is to get a very quick sense of, here is how you approach your service that is distinct, that is different from the next person that they're visiting, right? How do you do that? Well, it's a little exercise where you're looking for the top 3 words, for example, top 3 differentiators, 3 things that maybe you do differently. How you take care of people. You could have a specific edge in your background and how you approach the service. Maybe you work hard to make people feel a certain way, right, in their experience of your brand. I was just working on a branding call last week with a small video maker guy, and apart from approaching how he does video in a specific way, we also uncovered during the call that he prioritizes making people feel comfortable throughout the experience. And I was asking him, well, unpack that. What does that mean, right? If you value that, if you prioritize something like that, right? If you will never do business another way because you cannot imagine doing business or delivering this service except in this way, then why, right? And in most cases, each time you pick something like a differentiator, there's 2 realities that are involved. There's an implied negative experience that people are getting, and then there's the positive experience that you want them to have when they work with you. So grab both of those. Let's say you prioritize the human connection, right? You're going to make people feel comfortable by over-communicating with them, managing expectations, hand-holding throughout the way, absolute clarity on the process, and so on. What have you just implied if they go somewhere else, or they may have had bad experiences elsewhere, that they have no idea what's going on? There's been a lack of clarity, not enough communication. They're left wondering, what else needs to be done, right? So in doing that, you're not only creating like a little bit of additional content for your website to help you resonate and connect with your audience, but you're identifying, let's say you do landscaping, right? And let's say how you take care of a lawn, you're basically mowing a lawn just like the next guy. Or you're a moving company. I mean, what is a moving company but a bunch of strong people moving stuff around? So how do you separate yourself? How do you set yourself apart? Well, dig into why you got into business in the first place. What is it that inspires you? How do you believe about delivering your business that's different from the next guy? And maybe you need to come up with something to set yourself apart so that you're more unique. Because if there's anything that will stop people from picking you is if you don't give them a reason to. People need a nice, clear reason to think, I need this guy, right? If you were to imagine yourself, your brand, you're in a lineup with 10 other people, and especially if you're delivering an online service, people are shopping around, and all it takes is a Google search to find 10 competitors, right? You could be competing with Fiverr or somebody from another, across the country. So your branding, your differentiation is positioned around value, or the particular kind of client that you serve, or the particular experience that you deliver around your service. So identifying, say, the top 3 things that someone should know about how you do business different to everybody else. Maybe it's who you are, the kind of person that you are, and then communicating that. So what have you found that's been working, right? What are you doing to help differentiate yourself in your niche? Maybe go ahead and list for me the top 3 things that you believe are your superpowers, top 3 things that make you unique and interesting. Go ahead and drop them in the comments. I would, if it's not in your profile, let's hash it out and maybe get some feedback, and then here's to a more solid profile and a more interesting website for you. I would love to be a part of your success. Let's go ahead and leave your thoughts in the comments.